Hello. I quickly want to share my thoughts around how to identify someone who is an asset in your organization. I have just five things I want to share that a leader can do to identify someone that they can confidently say this is an asset within the organization. Now it doesn't matter if this person is employed or this person is a volunteer. I think I'm assuming and I believe that these five things that I'm going to share with you apply in any setup. um, Perhaps let me start by saying I do believe this is important for every leader to always think of themselves as someone who's not going to be around forever. In an organization, you must have your exit date. You must, in your mind, you need to constantly think, how can you work yourself out of the job? As much as you could be planning to be there 10, 20 years, that's fine, but you must also work towards not being there. And it shouldn't be something that you would plan 10 years later. It should be something that you work on the first day you resume your role. A leader is a person who is very realistic about the realities of life. You cannot lead and assume that things are permanent. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is assured. Everything is temporal in this world. Everything is temporal. You are also in that organization, leading that team, and it's not forever and ever, forevermore. You know, and so identifying assets that would ensure the longevity of the work that you do and the longevity of the organization that you're leading, you must consistently identify leaders. I call them leaders, but for today, we would refer to them as assets in the organization. So, three reasons why you would really want to do this. You want to be able to channel your developmental resources to the right people. Now, this is not to say that there are people that will get development within the organization and others that will not. The the the, the idea of developing assets is it's a bit different. If you are developing someone who is very good at their job and they're very loyal to the organization, it's different from you seeing someone who possibly could lead this organization in 10, 20 years to come. And so also it's not the idea of these are people that will forever be in this organization. Now people, some leaders are scared to develop people with the thinking with the thought that people are going to leave. Obviously we want people to stay, but obviously we want them to move on when they need to move on. And so we cannot then withhold development from people just because we think they're going to leave, as much as it's painful when they leave. But we'll rather be with people that are easy to develop, that are developing and are thriving, than to be stuck with people that are not growing. And so that's the first reason you want to identify assets, because you want to channel all your efforts to those assets, to those human assets, and then you want to work yourself out of the job. I find that when I channel myself in a team, when I'm leading a team, if I spend time identifying possible assets, I find that it's easier to find a replacement when I need to go. I think I don't know, it breaks my heart when I live and I cannot find someone from my team that could take my place. As much as sometimes it's hard to do that, but I find that it gives me satisfaction when I am replaced by someone within my team. I cannot spend 10 years with people, or 5 or 2 years with people, and nobody's able to do what I'm doing. So the idea of identifying an asset again, the reason is you want to work yourself out of the job as a leader. And so you want to be able to raise, it's either you have someone shadowing you, or you have someone that you're mentoring. doesn't matter what the setup is, but you want to work yourself out of the job. That reason why you would want to identify an asset, you want to secure the future of the organization. Now I know I haven't been in a place for more than 10 years. um, Obviously I had already known the day I came that I'm here for a certain period of time. And out at other times I'll be able to measure it, and other times I wouldn't be able to measure it. But I'm I'm certain that it doesn't matter whether you are in a place for a short period of time or a long period of time. You still need to live the work, um, an established sense of longevity, an established sense of this is gonna go on for at least another generation. And so that's why you want to identify your assets. So let's go. The first thing I think you want to look at, you want to look at someone who is loyal to your organization. Now, people can demonstrate this in different ways. They can demonstrate it through their commitment to their work, to the mission of the organization. They can, you know, be purposefully or maybe intentionally grow within the organization. Someone who came in as a receptionist is working their way maybe to a promotional position, and they are determined to grow further within the organization. They can see themselves moving from position to position, and they can see a future within the organization. They are conscious about how they use company resources such as the company time and assets, other physical assets, like how they are treating their workspace, how they're treating vehicles, how they're treating little things like print paper. People that are cautious about these things, normally those are the people that are mindful of the success of the organization, and so they treat the organization like it's their own. They desire to contribute meaningfully to the organization. These are the people that would say, I can still do more. I can still do more. Even if you're paying me for this role, I can still offer you this and that. Even without expertise at times, without experience at times, but they're giving their time, their resources, they're giving their intellect, for your organization to prosper. Those are assets. So they're loyal to your organization in that sense. Now, if you also look at loyalty, um, in this sense, these are people that honor, your the value that you bring. They honor the brand. They become the brand ambassadors of your organization. They demonstrate excitement around your brand. They have great admiration of your brand. They adopt the company values as their own. They honor and appreciate all stakeholders of the business. They don't just suck up to you as a leader. They are aware that there are other role players in this organization. There are colleagues, their co-workers. They are very respectful, honoring to your clients, to your investors. They are cautious that they are actually the face of the company. They take ownership of the company. They honor and appreciate, everything that all the stakeholders do. They acknowledge and appreciate their role within the organization. They speak and represent your organization very well. I've seen people that, I remember I used to laugh at my late brother. I have my late brother Usfiso, who passed away a few years ago. He was a financial advisor at one of the banks in KZN, and he I mean, he used to brag about this bank. Obviously I wasn't using this bank for my own for myself, but I remember how he would brag about the bank and the services they offer, and the many lives that they touch, touching, and what the actual vision is about. I knew everything. He would wear, he'll make sure that he's on his t-shirt, the branded t-shirt, going to the office, whether he's wanting to be formal that day with a tie and a coat, but he would always have something that represent the brand. And I remember how he would literally just promote the brand, even on, when he's not working in family gatherings, he's talking about his work. He was a brand ambassador. From his days, I think I learned a lot. Even now with the same bank, I tend to promote some of the things that they do. I tend to talk about it, but it's not from me just loving the bank. It's because someone I trusted, I related to, was speaking well, about the brand. And so they become the brand ambassador. And they grow as individuals. Now, look at this. These are soft skills. These are not just, growing in doing their job well. They're growing as individuals. Their character is being built up while they're working here. They invest time to improve themselves, whether they're signing themselves in a course, but as their skill grows, their stature grows. They positively impact their families and the people around them. They grow in collaboration. Assets, they don't think they can do everything on their own. Assets mobilize. They mobilize resources. They mobilize, human assets. They mobilize. They love working with others towards the common goal. They become, very full of humility, and they become selfless as they grow within the organization. You can spot these people. These are the people that always are very keen to welcome new people within the organization. They are keen to train new faces of the organization. You will notice that the more they grow as individuals, they present that selflessness. They're not cautious. If they're now, as much as they're ambitious and they want to climb the corporate ladder, now whether that happens or not, they will give you their 100% because they're growing as individuals. So they're not power hungry. They're not, fighting over positions. They're not jealous of others as they grow because they are growing themselves. And also, what I also love, they have a positive influence on others within the organization. Excuse my spelling there. Oh my goodness, I don't know what was going on. Oh, instead of a G there, I put an H. Too late now, too late now. But this is what they do. When you come into an organization and there's someone who's just consistently giving their best, they tend to have a positive influence on others. Now, I'm not talking about people that struggle to build relations with others, and then they're seen and they're isolated uh, by the rest of the team, and they're, I don't know, they're striving to be the best and they sacrifice everyone else. They will not support others with their work. They will hide what they know so that they always look better just by themselves. When the rest of the team is struggling, they are not struggling. Now, I'm not saying you must go with the crowd. I'm not saying that. I'm saying as the person grows, it's easier for them to influence others positively. Well, if people are jealous, but we want to identify assets that can bring people along. Even the jealous ones, they can bring people along. They're able to train new members of the organization. I've already said that. They're able to crack the most difficult team member. They're able to build relationships with those people. People that came here and they were hating the job, somehow they spent more time with this person, and this person just not by saying a lot, but by doing the right things, and consistently doing it and getting the good results, and people tend to learn from them. You want someone who would influence other people positively, and you want someone, an asset is someone who bring in the revenue. Now, we cannot ignore this. Now, Having said everything that I've said, sometimes other people struggle to bring revenue. You know, you can find someone who is a really good asset in terms of bringing the team together, in terms of bringing, creating a good working environment. But at the end of the day, if the organization is there to make profit, the asset needs to be able to bring in revenue. If it's someone who is in sales, they need to close the deals. It doesn't matter that they reach out to 100 people. If the 100 people didn't, there was no sale that was made, then unfortunately, that is, they're not meeting the ultimate goal, um, which is to actually make profit. And so you want someone who exceeds company goals and targets. I think it's important for us, if you really want to have an impact in an organization, make sure that you bring everything in. You bring what the company needs, in. They make the organization look good to investors, to stakeholders, whether it's potential clients. Um, Although this asset is ambitious, they take well calculated risk. Now I'm putting it this in here because it's very important. Sometimes we could have this ambitious asset that makes these drastic risks that become a liability to the company. If someone makes decisions that are not calculated, that are not informed, then they become a liability. So there's a fine line. You want someone who's ambitious, but not someone that would consistently put the organization into an uncomfortable position. Also, you don't want someone who's ambitious but who also has a tendency of being comfortable. Now, comfortable being complacent. They're comfortable because now they're here. They have a permanent job. Now they just consistently give you, seven. They constantly give you seven when they can actually go further and take a risk and go for number 8 or number 9 or number 10. So if there's still a number that they can reach out, you want someone to stretch forth and bring that. What does that look like? It looks like someone, if the organization was bringing in, revenue through this stream, this is someone who is able to see other potential streams. For the company to still bring in income. This is someone who says, hey, I know that we build websites, but how can we maybe, feature this? This is someone who is creative, who is innovative, who does not limit themselves to the norm, to the standard, to the I don't know, to the status quo, if I must say. So these are the 5 things that I believe will be helpful for any leader to identify their assets. And once you've identified your assets, you would know to how to invest to that assets. Now, what I love about identifying assets, it doesn't matter if they go, if you have really built and invested in an asset. I've seen people that leave organizations and come back, people who leave the organization and create beautiful relations with other, they become stakeholders, basically, people that bring in even potential clients or investors to the organization where they were developed. And so it doesn't matter if people end up leaving after you've invested your time to them. It doesn't matter. You must invest in people. You must recognize people's talents and giftings, and tap into that while they're with you. I hope was helpful to you. Let me know if this was helpful to you. You can drop me a comment. You can send me an email. You can subscribe and like this page or share this content. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.